Greetings, programs. It's another fine day. Well, we'll pretend that it's fine anyway. All right, so we have a little bit of a change to my plan this morning. And that is because I've been struggling with migraines this week. Greetings, Dragon Sparkles Art. Thanks for being here. So I've been struggling with some migraines this week, and as a result had some technical challenges that I was not quite able to resolve. I'm close to having them resolved, but right now I'm still working on figuring out how to get the sound out of Ableton that it when you load up the Ableton interface and you have the tracks and stuff, you're able to hear when I do the MIDI instruments, because that's just a USB MIDI device sending MIDI data across, and then Ableton itself is rendering it, and so you can hear that sound. What you can't hear right now is the sound coming in from my audio interface, which is the sound coming in from the guitar, and if I had any effects change there. What happens is that's actual audio data coming in. Ableton handles that a little differently, and it routes it back out a monitor channel back to the monitor outputs on my audio device, my audio interface. So in theory, setting up everything for stream, I should just be able to take that audio interface. It shows up as another sound device in Windows, so I should just be able to grab that and tell OBS, go ahead and anything that's going to that, go ahead and send it out. Well, the problem is the way those drivers are written, that's not how they work. They're write-only devices. You can't read from them the way OBS needs to. So there's either a hardware solution or a software solution. I'm going with the software solution. I've got it 99% in place, but it just wasn't ready in time for me to go ahead and do the stream today. So what we're going to do today, I just got a new Lego set, and it's a small one. It's only 330 pieces, but it is the Lego Ideas Sailboat Adventure. And it is... it was originally an exclusive for the Lego VIP Club members. So went ahead and ordered that and just got it in a little while ago. So I'm going to go ahead and build this on stream today. And then we'll go ahead and talk for a little while about music and other stuff that's happening. And then go ahead and I'll just move on into The Witcher. Hey, all blue. Yeah, okay. I have to switch glasses this morning. Apparently. All right. And I am getting no sound. You guys can hear me, right? Show sound going out. I'm just not hearing anything in my... Oh, I know why. Okay. All right, so I've got my reading glasses, my computer glasses on. Please just pop something in chat real quick. Let me know you can hear me. Okay. You can hear me. Awesome. All right. So let's go ahead and move to Lego. Let's just jump right into it. Let me get my cherry Coke going here first. Caffeine is one of those things that helps my headaches get fought. So just as a warning, if the headache starts ramping back up, I may have to cut stream early, but I at least wanted to come on and do something. That was the advice that I'd gotten from everyone I talked to. Rather than cancel stream, at least come on and do something. Be consistent. So here I am. All right, let's switch over to desk cam. All right. So I'm going to move over here. All right, so Sailboat Adventure. It's a Lego Ideas. All right, it's a Lego Ideas set. It's just, like I said, it's a small one, 330 pieces. It's just a small sailboat with a couple of minifigs. It ran originally through the Lego Ideas site. If you don't know about Lego Ideas, it's a really cool community site where people can submit designs, have them voted on. If they can manage to get 10,000 votes in a certain amount of time, then those projects get moved on, and Lego actually studies them for their viability and then turns them into actual, the ones that pass all the checks, turns them into actual projects. A lot of the sets that are out now, like the Saturn V rocket that you can see up in the corner of, right there, Saturn V rocket. A bunch of there's a bunch of sets out there that have gone through the Lego Ideas. All right, so the Lego Ideas, it comes with 6 small poly bags of stuff, 3 numbered 1, 3 numbered 2. So let's go ahead. And there's 1 small sticker sheet that has 2 stickers on it. And mine came with, did not actually come with one of these little Lego tools. If you have not seen these Lego tools or know how to use them, these are flippin' awesome. They are really good at helping get pieces apart. Like, so for example, I'm going to take these 2, let's see, let's get the focus a little bit more over. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that. Yeah, okay. It's a little bit easier to see. All right, so these 2 4x1 plates, getting those together, or getting those apart once you put them together, can be really, really difficult. All right, and so this is where these tools, and they come in most of the bigger sets now, they come in the 2 different colors, but they're the same thing. This is where you can do something like this and just, of course now I can't do it, but you can just leverage them apart like that. And so you can save the condition of your Legos and not get them all scraped up with your thumbnails and ding the edges and stuff. So you can keep your Legos in better condition. All right, so it comes with the 2 poly bags of Legos, and then it comes with these 2 long golden rods that we'll get to later. All right, so let's take all the parts from bags 1. And let's get ready to build. All right. So, all right. So the one thing I need to see here, I'm curious, how many of you who are streamers yourselves, how many have been affected by a hate raid in the last couple of weeks? Have you been hearing about the hate raids that have been going on, where people will raid a stream with a bunch of bots and just post offensive messages and stuff through? There is a wonderful resource out there, and I'm going to go ahead and put the link in chat here. All right. Why am I not seeing my chat here? Oh, hang on. Okay, so apparently I am just all discombobulated today. All right, so there's... All right, so hate raid response. They're targeting marginalized streamers. They're targeting smaller streamers of color. They're targeting LGBTQIA streamers, people who have those tags So this is definitely a good resource to be aware of. There's a whole group of users that are working together to provide additional bots and resources on how to create automated panic buttons to shut these raids down and deal with them. And so that link there is a really good resource if you are a streamer. All right, so let's move on here. All right, so we're in two sets. We create the minifigs and the basic hull in bag 1, and then the rest of the superstructure and the sail in bag 2. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to get all of our minifig pieces here. All right, and we are going to put our minifigs together. All right, so we have here all right, so we need one more leg, and then I need the binoculars. We'll find the binoculars here in a minute. All right, so all right, so let's work on the Lego minifig that is assigned female at build. So we take and we give her the life jacket and put her face on and put her hair on. And there we go. She's all ready to go. And I need to remember to do it over here on camera. Yes. Okay. All right. So, all right. So, we take the assigned male at build. All right. Put him on, and the only thing he needs is his binoculars, which I just spotted. And so they go on the hand, and so there's our two minifigs for our adventure. Let me put them over here where you can see them. All right. So we have the crew of the good ship Eloise. So we start with one of these turquoise, or one of these light blue plates, and we're going to have these little clear 1x1 slope, and we're going to have quite a lot of those in this build, and that is to simulate waves and wake, which is actually kind of really ingenious. All right, so we're going to have a couple more of those for our next step here. So 2 of the angles, and yeah, I probably could have stretched some time out by nulling this and getting everything arranged. Sometimes that works for me, sometimes that doesn't. All right, so I've got that piece there, and that one goes on, and we do the same on the other side. All right. So, this is what we've got so far. All right, so we start step 3 with the first part of the hull. We put it onto our water plate, and then we add the next water plate in, so we have more building room. All right, and then we get 6 of the little clear angle doohickeys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we put these in. We put one there, we put one there, and we put one on top of the little 1x2 clear plate that is connecting those two together. And then we do the same thing on the other side. There, are the way they are facing. Here, let me go ahead and bring this up to the camera so you can see. And those are facing with the bigger sides out to simulate the wake going away from the hull. All right. Now, one of the things I like to do is just kind of get those aligned because they can twist a little bit. So I just put it down and push it down, and that helps line them up. All right, so that's step 5. We're on to step 6, and we're having 2 of the clear 1x1 plates. We're having 2 of the clear angled the little 1x1 mini slopes, and then we've got a 1x2 clear tile running around right there. All right, and so this is where we take the 2 1x1s and we put them on the clear slopes to stack that up and make a slightly bigger wave that goes there and there, and this clear piece goes there to prepare for the next plate. And then we have another 6 of our clear angles, our clear slopes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, and now we just build these on. All right, I gotta come up with a better camera rig that's just right overhead looking down if I'm gonna keep doing Lego builds, I think. All right. So there's our 6. All right, so that's the end of step 7. Step 8, we take the other water plate and attach that on right there. All right, now for this, we have 1 of the 1x1 clear plates. We've got 2 of the 1x1 angles, slopes, and we have 1 of the 1x2 clear plates. All right, and so for this, we build this up, and this is our fastener for these plates on the other side. So again, the tall side goes to the edge to simulate the wake curling away from the boat. All right, so let's get an action shot. Okay, see, this is where we're at now. All right, so 4 more of the clear angles. All right, and then 2 of the clear 1x2s. All right. So, and all right, so take the 1x1s and put them on the angles, and those, so I take just the regular angles and put them there and there. All right, let's not fling this over the room. And then we take the tall stack that we just built and we put that on to help. All right, so now we've got the majority of our wake here. All right, so that was that part of, that's step 10. And so step 11, we put down the 4x4 hull section and the 2x4 hull section. All right. Step 12, we take the other hull section, we take the little specialty 2x2 white plate that only has studs on one side, and we take this little weird gray piece. All right, and so we put this white plate on top of the aft hull piece, or no, actually, yeah, this is the 4. No, this is the aft. This is the aft. I'm pretty sure. All right, and so we put that on there, just like our directions say here. And then we slap that on. And so now we have, at the end of the day, we have our ocean and the base of our boat hull. And we are on to step 13, where we take this Mongo sucker. It's the 2x2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yeah, and we just slap that right down on the inside of the hull for some additional stability and to hold everything together. All right, step 14, one of the 2x2 brown rounds, this nice dark blue 2x2 brick, and then this. So we put the brick up here, we put the round back there, and then we take this flat plate and we put it next to the blue brick. All right, on to step 15, where we have the two 1x10 gray pieces, and those go on the sides of the hull for extra stability and to lock everything together. All right, step 16, we're taking 10 of, let's see, got to get the right pieces here. So they are these tan pieces that are angles that have studs going off at different. So we're having 10 of those. All right, got to spot them. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And those we just attach along right on those 1x10 pieces that we just put on. This is going to allow us to build additional structures up for the side and build the hull out some more. Okay. All right. Okay. I just looked up in chat and saw the laughter to the assigned female at build. I was hoping someone would notice that and appreciate it. I'm in a mood this morning. I made a joke to my wife. I had to run out to the store and grab a cherry Coke before stream, and I just with the way that I'm feeling because of the migraine and everything, I was laughing about this being my emotional support Coke. And those of you who know me in real life will know how unfortunately how very apt that is. I don't know if I mentioned it here on stream before. I finally started putting it in my Twitch channel tags. I am autistic. But I have spent a lot of years trying to figure out what that means and figure out how that expresses itself for me, and basically build some adequate mechanisms to, one, allow me to function in a neurotypical society, and do so in a way that's healthy both for me and for the longevity of my job, my personal relationships, and everything. So that's probably also going to come up from time to time. Unfortunately, caffeine is kind of one of my coping mechanisms. All right, so we finished step 16. We got our 10 of those little angle brackets on. So we move on to step 17, where we are going to take, it's this weird, I don't know what the official term for it is, but I think of it as a clay brown. It's kind of this rich reddish brown color. So we're going to take the standard 1x2 brick in that color, and then we're going to take this little odd light brownish tannish, that it's a 1x2 brick with the two studs, the two open studs on the side, and we put those and now I can't see where they put them. Holy crap, what the hell is wrong with me? Oh, okay, nope, that's the wrong piece. That would be why I was having problems. All right, so no, we have the reverse sloped 2x2 white. Okay, and so those just go up here, right there. All right, and actually I was wrong. This is the This is the bow of the ship. This is the stern. So we're going forward this way. All right, so we've done step 17. On to step 18. We have 2 black 1x1 plates. We have 1 white 1x4 plate, and then we have these 2 white arch clips. Okay. If you were here for my build of my mod on my first stream of the Everyone is Awesome Lego set, we had some similar of these slope arch sets, but they were a little bigger. They were big enough that we could have another piece go underneath them. But they may look kind of familiar. All right, so putting those on, and then the 2 black 1x1s just go right there to the side. All right, so now we've got that in place, and now we have 4 deck plates, and these deck plates are really cool. They have a wood texture printed on them. All right, and I don't know if my camera is focusing well enough for you to see that, but so we're going to take, in step 19, we're going to take 4 of those, and because I am autistic, one of my little quirks is I like to align things exactly the way it is. And so they have all of these being aligned the same way. And so that goes down. And so that's what those little black pieces are there for, is to build that up so that they can be part of the support structure for this aft deck. All right, now we go to those little cool tan pieces. Or do we? Are we using... Yeah, okay, so there's 2 of those, and then 1 of this darker tannish color. So we just put those on like that, and those go right up there on the end like that, okay? What that's going to end up being, that's going to end up being where some of these hull pieces, these curved hull pieces, clip in to the structure. All right, so that was step 20. On to step 21. We have 2 of these little L brackets. All right, and we're just going to put these right here at the end of the decking. Okay. All right, for our next step, we have 2 of these clay brown, reddish brown, or sorry, 4 of these reddish brown 1x1 plates. All right, let's find them all. There they are. And then 2 of these little 1x2 plate slope combo pieces. All right, so we've got those. And so the first thing we do is we take these 1x1s and stack them together. And I just like to slam them sideways against a flat thing just to line all the edges up. And then we add them onto the slope pieces like that. And then those are going to go right here and hold down the ends of those planks. Just like that. All right. All right, so that's step 22. Step 23, we take 4 more of these L brackets. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we keep building out. Now, one thing to notice, the way, because we put everything, these are staggered. The edges of these are staggered with the edges of the pieces underneath, so they just help lock everything in place and keep it all stable. All right, step 24, we take one of these brown rounds, we take one of these, we put that 2x2 plate, we put it on top, and we stick that right here to basically be a support. And what we have done now is we have made a little space here for the cabin down in the hull. Okay, so this is the entry down, and we're going to have a little cabin superstructure that sits on top of that eventually. All right. Step 25, 2 more of those plates, and we can probably guess where they're going to go now, just based on everything. And if you guessed right there, continuing the line of those plates, you would 100% be correct and you win a prize. Yay. All right. So we take one of these 2x4 white plates for step 26 with the holes in the center, these Technics plates. They have the holes originally when they were introduced, so the shafts, the Technics shafts could go through them and come up through. And then one of these 1x2 reddish brown tiles, and we put that in, and we put that right there, and we're just continuing to build toward the fore of the ship. All right. Iced tea time. All right. So one of the things, by the way, the Hate Raid Response is sponsoring on September 1st. They are sponsoring a day off of Twitch. No streaming and no viewing Twitch channels for those who are able to do it, as kind of a way to get Twitch to build better moderation tools on the back end. Right now, if you go look, if you go to that website that I linked in chat, the hate raid response.card.co, you start looking at, there's a bunch of bots, and they're doing some of the same basic functionality that a lot of people are saying should be built into Twitch right now automatically. And so that's what we're hoping for, is to get Twitch on board to help build better moderation tools to protect smaller streamers and marginalized streamers, detect some of these bots that are being built and used to amplify these hate raids automatically on the back end, so streamers don't have to, and streamers and their moderation teams. So anyway, all right, so I will not, well, September 1st is not one of my normal stream days anyway, because that is a Wednesday. But if that is something that you are, that you do, and that you could potentially do, go to that website, go look into that. And there's also a Discord channel, or there's a Discord server for all of this, where more of this is being discussed. It does help if you can validate, if you have someone who can validate you or vouch for you for the validation. So if you do decide to go log into the Discord, go ahead and let them know that I'll validate you. Just drop my username, Devin Ganger, in there. All right, so step 26 is complete. We're on to step 27. We're taking one of those plates. We're taking one of those 1x2 plate, one of those angles, and then that rich brown red 1x2 tile, and we're building this up. And so this goes on the aft of the boat like that, or not on the aft, on the fore of the boat, on the bow. This is where our bowsprit is going to come out and extend out from the boat. All right, so we're building that up. All right, next step, 28. We're taking a gray one of those 2x4 Technic plates. We are taking a 1x4 white plate, and we're taking a 2x4 lighter brown tile. And now we're just kind of putting some of these in for additional support. All right, and so you got to watch the order of assembly so you don't do what I just did. All right, so there we go. We now are building up more of the floor and everything inside. All right, step 29. We take two of the white 2x4 Technic plates, and we take our other 1x4 white plate, and now we just build out like that and put that in place. And then this other 1x4 goes on top of the first one. And see, that's where when I was taking this apart last night to prep it for build today, that's where I ran into the 2 stacked 1x4s and using the tools to get them apart. All right. So, all right. So on to step 30, a 1x2, 2 of the 1x2 slopes here. There's one, there's the second, and those just go on right here. And we're starting to build out the forecastle. All right. Step 31, 1 of the rounds and 2 of the rich red brown 1x2 plates. And so this is why we're using the Technics plates here and why it goes down, because that is where our shaft for our mast for the sails is eventually going to go down through that round and down through into the lower layers of. And so these just go on there like that to build that up. All right, so now we've got that. And now it's time to put in our decking up front. So that goes right there, and that goes right there. Okay, we're starting to definitely take shape. Step 33. Step 33 gets a little bit more, because now we're starting to build out the bow portion of the hull. So we've got a ton of pieces here. We have a gray 1x2. We have a white 2x2 plate. We have this extended 2x4 white slope. We have one of those clips in the red brown. It goes the other way as these. It's got the studs on the top, so it hangs down from something. Okay. And we've got a 1x2 red brown brick. We've got this awesome 2x2 black brick that has the studs on the sides as well. It's kind of a weird piece. And then we have, if I can find it, where did it go? Aha, there it is, right there. The last one of those clips. See, so there's the difference. This one is meant to go on something. This one is meant to clip on that way and hang down below it, and that extends above it. Okay. All right, so we take that, we put the white plate on it, we put the gray 1x2 plate at the bottom there, and see, we're just building that out. All right, we then take the black piece here and we put that on. So we've got studs facing pretty much every direction now as part of this. Okay, so this is kind of one of those central pieces where we're putting a bunch of stuff on. All right. This is, hey, Windwolf Puppets. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. All right. And then finally we go ahead and put on that slope and boom. All right. And we attach that to the fore of our boat. All right. So now we're really starting to take shape. All right, the next step, we have these curved hull pieces. So we use 2 of each kind of curve. There's a left curve and a right curve, and we have 2 of them. And you'll see later in this, the ones up the front, we have the stickers that go on them to provide the ship name, which is Eloise. Those are already put on. So when you're rebuilding sets like this, you've got the stickers put on already. Just kind of make sure that you know where the stickers are going to go, so you use those pieces in the right places. All right, so I've got those 2, and those should now just attach onto just like that. All right, and so we've got the back end, we've got the stern of our ship now is built out. All right, step 35, gray 1x2, and one of these brownish 2x2 slope plates. We put that on, and we put that here, down here along the hull. That's why we were using those angle brackets on this, is to basically be able to use these pieces to help build up the outward slope of the hull. So over the next few steps, that was step 35. Over the next few steps, we're going to do a bunch of different varieties of techniques. All right, so we're building up this near side, what would be the port side of the ship. In case you didn't know, starboard and port are right and left respectively, but right and left are always relative to the speaker. So this is my right, this is my left. If I turn around, this is still my right, this is still my left, but those have swapped according to your perspective. On a ship, starboard and port always are in relation to the front of the ship, to the bow. So when I am standing anywhere on the ship and I am facing the bow, starboard is to my right, port is to my left. And you can remember port is left because they each have 4 letters. All right. When I turn around and I'm facing the bow, I'm facing behind the ship, starboard then goes, starboard still describes the same side of the ship. So this is always starboard, regardless of whether I'm facing fore or aft. All right, just a little bit of nautical trivia there, if you did not know that. All right, so I'm taking one of these 2x3 slope pieces, one of these 1x2 bricks, and the first thing I'm doing is I'm filling in right there, and notice that comes out to the same height as that curved hull piece. And then I'm taking this slope and I'm moving on to the next piece and locking that down in place. All right. And so for the next one, all right, I'm taking another one of those 2x2 slope plates and one of those gray 1x2s, and that just goes here and locks on. Oh, I did some damage here to the little clear pieces along the water tiles that are providing our foam, our wake. So just got to clip those back on. All right. All right, so I've got that in place. I've done step 37. Step 38. All right, so we moved as far forward on the port hull, the port gunnel as we're going to. So now we shift over to the starboard, and the starboard is going to be a little bit more tricky because we have the anchor attachment to build in there. So we're using some of the same techniques. We're using another one of these 2x2 slopes and the gray 1x2. We're putting that on. We're flipping this around, so in that orientation, we put that there. So for that, building out, that looks a lot the same. And then our next step, 39, with the 2x3 slope, the 1x2 brick, we put that on. So far, so good. That's exactly like we did it on the port side. All right, this is where step 40 is where things get a little bit different. Okay, so what we do here, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take the anchor piece, and where is the anchor chain? Aha, right there. It's this goldish. So we take the anchor chain there. All right, let me move this a little closer. And then we take one of these grayish, brownish 1x2 plates, and we take where to go? Right there. It's the 1x2 same color slope. So we take this and we put the slope right there on that side. Okay. Then on this other stud that's exposed, we take one part of the anchor chain, and then for step 4, we put the anchor through that open stud on the other end of the chain, and we put that back on itself and change it so that the anchor is facing down. All right, so we end up with that, and now we put that on the boat right there, And then in step 41, we take 1 by 2. Well, actually, we take 2 of them. And where did the other one go? Where did the other one go? Ah, right. Okay. This is where I screwed up. All right. If we go back here to step 39, this 1 by 2 brick here should have been this 1 by 2 brick that has the additional studs sticking out the side, because when we put that on, we put it there. So it provides a place on the rail for us to attach something. All right. So now we have our other 1 by 2 brick that we needed to go put there and there. So now we built the hull out along both the starboard and port sides. All right. And we've gotten to the point where now it's telling us to take the stickers and put the sticker at the front there. So it's the name of the ship is right there. All right. So we fasten that in. That's step 42. Step 43. Put the sticker on, okay, on the other side, and fasten that in, and there we go. All right. So now we have our basic hull. We're really starting to take shape here. All right. And we're back oriented with our bow facing this way. All right, because it tells us to flip. All right, now we're adding a little bit of attachment to the back end. We've got our life, our ring life preserver that can be tossed in case someone goes overboard. So we've got one of those. We've got this little 1 by 2 grate tile that's the sparkly-ish goldish color. 1 by 2 plate with the single-centered stud in that reddish brown, and then one of those 2 by 2 reddish angle brackets. And so there we're just adding the stud plate and the grate. Let's not fling Legos all over the universe, Devin. What did I do with that piece? Dumped it right in the boat. All right, cool. And then we take the life preserver, we put it on that center stud so it's hanging there, and we toss that on the stern of the ship. And so now we've got our fixture there on our transom. All right, and that was step 44. All right. All right. Step 46. We take one of those more grayish brown 1 by 2 plates with the stud, and we take one of those tan 1 by 2 plates with this little spur sticking off of it, and we put that on. We stack them together and we put that there. That's going to end up being our tiller. We're going to have a handle that comes off of that, and that's the tiller to control the rudder, the direction of the boat. All right? Or that will be. That's where it'll attach in. All right, so 47. We have 4 of these little 1 by 2 angled tile doohickeys. So we've got 4 of those. All right. 2 of these 1 by 4s with just the 2 studs on the end. And then 4 of these 1 by 1 with the little vertically done grabber plates. All right. So we're going to take those, and we're going to build this sequence right here. We're going to build it twice. So we take one of these 1 by 4s, we take these little shiny gold plates, put them to the side, and then we take the grabber plates and attach them on, and we're going to do that twice, because what that's going to do is that's going to get put on just like that on each side. All right, so we did that side, so let's do the next one. All right, And one of my pieces fell off the boat. My anchor chain is just sitting there all forlorn on the tray. So I will put that back on as soon as I get this on. All right, so this assembly itself isn't very secure when you're just holding it, but it'll get more secure once you put it on there and tie everything together. All right, and I knocked the anchor chain off, so put that back on securely. All right, so we've got everything going there. All right, so that was step 47. We're coming near to the end of bag one, of all the bag one stuff. All right, so step 48, we have another do it twice. So we've got more of those 1x4 plates. We have the little 1x1 round gold plates, 2 of those, and then we have these are the wrong color. Why are they the wrong color? Where would I have... Because those should be more of that. All right, what did I do here? Did I use... No, because the only one's there, and that should be that reddish brown wood color. All right, this is part of the fun, by the way. All right, so let's go back through and see. What I may have done is built it wrong originally, so when I took it back apart, the parts are in the wrong tubs. Would not be the first time. All right, so I haven't even used any of those other plates back in these other steps, other than there. All right, back 22, which is those right there, is where I first used those size and style of plates, and those were the correct color then. All right, so I'm really thinking that what I did is, so let's get forward just a minute here. All right, there's one of them. So I'm going to take those 2 gold ones and I'm going to put them in there. All right. Hi, welcome to autism. Some people would say it doesn't matter. As long as you've got the right size, it doesn't matter what the color is. And I certainly can appreciate the validity of that viewpoint. Intellectually, I agree. Emotionally, not so much. And it is the path of least resistance for me to just go ahead and have it match the design the first time through. So, okay, so now I've got the right color and size of these pieces. All right, so boom, boom. And that's part of the challenge of neurodiversity and figuring out what how that expresses for you is figuring out which parts of it you need to fight and build adaptive mechanisms for, and which parts of it it's just not worth the energy to fight it. So you just quietly slip it in and have it be part of your aesthetic and your thing. It is possible to not be locked into what your default impulse is, but you have to figure out if there's a way where you can reduce that energy cost of fighting that and when it's worthwhile and when it's not. So for little stuff like this, where that it must match, that perfectionism, everything must be lined up straight, it's just easier for me, for an activity that I'm doing for fun, to just take the few extra seconds to do it and make sure that it all matches and everything. Makes me a lot happier. I'm not fighting my brain over something that's low stakes, no stakes. Okay. So, all right. So I've got my 2 assemblies now, and these come on the sides of the hull just like that to add a little bit more decoration and finish locking all of that together. So that's nice and solid now. All right, so now I take, in step 49, I take one of the 2x2 rounds. I take the 2x2 round plate, that has the hole in the center, and I go ahead and put that up, and that is going to be, like I said before, the base of our mast. The shaft holding it goes down and locks into those, because those rounds, that center hole has that cross section shaped profile that the Technics shafts all have. So it'll lock into place and not twist in there. All right, that's step 49. Step 50, I take one of my gold 1x1 plates. I take two of the 1x1 gold plates with the grabbers sticking straight up, just like that. One of these rich brown or red brown 1x2 plates with the centered stud. A 1x2 red brown plate, a 1x2 red brown tile and plate, and then this 2x2 with the studs on the top side. All right, and so I take that, I take the 1x2 plate and put that on. I take the 1x2 tile with the center stud, put that on, and put the 1x1 round plate on top of that. Come back to here, the bottom 1x2 tile, and then here on the two remaining studs, I put those little grabber 1x1s, and I want to make sure that the hole in them is aligned so that it's up and down, all right? Because we're gonna clip into that, and this ends up going, we put that here, and that extends out as part of our bowsprit, all right? So we're extending out the front of the boat. All right, 51. We have the deck tiles, the last two deck tiles, and those go on right there. Okay? Now, we just have, why do we have extra pieces? That always makes me nervous. That makes me realize that I missed something. Ah, I did miss something. Okay, so let's go back and figure out what I missed. Right here, step 45 is what I missed. So I have this 1x2 slope, and I have these two tan grabbers, 1x1 grabbers. Put those on with the grabbers sticking out to the sides like that. And so when I put that on there, I put it on the wrong place. So that goes all right, so I borked this up all horribly. All right, so that slope goes there. All right, these grabbers come out to the side because we're going to need them here in a second. And then the little piece that we built up in step 46 to be the tiller goes on top of those, and you'll see why here in just a second. Now that I've done that correctly, we don't have any leftover pieces, and we move on to step 52, where we finally take these long gold tubes, they're flexible, and we take these two gold, I don't even know what they're called, but they're little pieces, they're hollow on the one end, and they've got this little, they made up with grabbers is what they do. All right, and so we do this twice. We stick those on the end of one of those gold tubes, stick the other one on, and then to finish up, we attach them. Okay, that grabber there, that clicks into place. All right, so then we swing this around and we put it in those grabbers, and we shape that over, and so now we have a railing that runs along a curved railing that runs along the entire thing. And so we're going to do the same thing on this side. Snap that in, put that in that grabber, put that in there, and then bring this around. And if we've done our jobs right, those should be almost exactly even with each other. Have to wrestle with this just a touch. All right, and so we have finished all of the bags for step one. Now, when you get Lego sets usually almost always include a couple extra pieces of some of the smaller, more easy to lose pieces. All right, so if you were doing this build for the first time, you'd have a couple extra pieces left out of the bags for bag one. Okay, so if you end up building this set and you're like, wait a minute, that isn't what happened with Devin. Yeah, it is. It's just I put all my extra pieces in here at the end, into my cup for bag two. All right, so now we take all of our bags that are labeled bag two. Like I said, there's 3 of them. We open them. And now we have all of our pieces for the second half of this build. All right, chat, how are we doing? I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to remind you all about the hate raid response. Okay, we're just past 11 o'clock. Okay. How are we doing as far as, let's see, where are we at? Let me come here. Let's see, go into the stream manager, and here we are. And we've got our 2 viewers right now. Okay. All right, so back to the stream. Okay. All right. All right. Step 53. We're going to take, so we have a bunch of these little, and they're in this red brown color, but there's also, so there are these little posts. They're kind of the same shape as the wand pieces were for all the Harry Potter sets. It's exactly the same. It's the same shape that the lightsaber pieces, not the handles, but the actual lightsaber blades are in the Star Wars. So there's a lot of this kind of shape floating around in various different colors. What we want is one of the red-brown, and then another one of those golden grabber pieces, and we put that together. And remember how I said this weird little thing was going to become the handle for our tiller? Well, there we go. There is the payoff. All right, that just clips, that grabber handle clips right on that upright post, and now that is our tiller for steering the ship. We don't actually have a rudder mechanism sticking down below because that would be in the water, but we've got the handle to steer the ship by. All right, so that was step 53. 54, we're going to finish building out the superstructure that is the top of the cabin that sits here in midships. I really need to get better about where I'm placing the camera. Sorry, folks. All right, so we're going to build this out, and the first thing we're doing is taking a 1x6 white plate, and we're taking one of these 1x1 white bricks that has when these were introduced, these bricks, these were originally headlights on Lego cars. So they've got a brick facing out front and a little recessed lip there. All right, so one of those headlight pieces, and we put that on the end with the headlight attachment area facing out to the end. All right, so step 55, we take a regular 1x1 brick. We take a 2x1 brick that has one of the Technics holes all the way through it. And we take a 1x1 brick that has one of the Technics holes all the way through it. All right, and we are going to build these out on this 1x6 that we started in the previous step. So there, all right. I just need a regular one. There we go. There's a couple of them. So there's our regular 1x1 that doesn't have any holes through it. All right. And there's our 1x1 that does have a hole through it. So now we have this little substructure just like that. All right, on to step 56. We're going to take one of these right angle pieces here and just clip that on. All right, so that is one wall of our cabin. All right. Now we take this nifty little top piece. I haven't seen this in any other sets, but my wife has. My wife informs me that this is also found in the Mini Cooper build. It's the roof. So we just go ahead and we put that piece that we built out before, that little assembly, we put that on, and that is one side of our cabin. All right, and we'll set that down. Now, on step 58, we're going to take two of our little gold pieces, and we are taking two of the ones. So some of these gold pieces have our solid stud, and some of them have a hollow stud. I don't know if you can see the difference there on camera. Okay. So they are specifying the not hollow variety. So let me do a little bit of sorting and make sure that I have all of them that I need to here. Got a lot of the hollow variety. All right, and the only places I used those before in step one were at the front and those two on the side, so I may have to swap one of these pieces out to get it right. And it looks like I'm going to, because I don't see any more. So let me jump back here real fast. Those are definitely the solid ones. That is definitely a solid one. So what the hey? All right, so this is where, hang on just a second. Whoop. All right, when I'm wheeling around the room, it helps not to run into the tripod for the camera. Important safety tip. Thanks, Egon. All right. Let's just make sure I don't have any of these others, because I only have one more of the solid. And they are, you know what? They are not differentiating between the solid and the hollow. I wonder why that is. Let's go to the parts list in the back and see if they actually... Okay, there's 6 of the ones that are and 3 of the solid. So 1, 2, 3 solid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. Okay, so nope. I read that incorrectly. All right, so don't need that extra baggie of parts. All right, so apparently they are using the ones for this step. They're using the ones that have the hole. Oh, okay, that makes sense, because these are the little brass fittings around our portholes. So of course there needs to be a hole in it so we can see out. Our minifigs need to, be able to see out of the cabin. So now we have our studs with openings stuck into those Technics holes and providing the brass fittings of our portholes. All right, a little bit of logic here. So now we're going to take the 1x6 plate, the 1x1 with no hole, the 1x1 with a hole, let's see, the other headlight piece, the 1x2 with a hole, the angle. All right, there it is. And we're going to build up this structure for the other side. All right, so it's our headlight piece with the headlight part facing the end, just like that. The 1x2 with the hole, 1x1 no hole, 1x1 with the hole, and the angle piece. And that gets put on this side to form the starboard wall. All right, and then we take another 2 of these 1x1 round plates, gold with the holes through them for our portholes on that side, and now we have this whole doohickey. Okay, now, now we're running into the same problem that we had where it's telling me to use a specific color. Telling me to use a specific color, and I don't have that color because they gave me some gold ones, but not enough of the wood ones. So let's double check our colors again. Let me see the picture here. All right, so I think there was a misprint here in the, yeah. So these pieces here along the side are supposed to be that gold color. We're not. Okay, so we're gonna take those off and put the gold ones back on, so that, because that matches the color of the rest of the fittings along the line there, so that actually makes a lot more sense. So I didn't have to correct that the first time. Okay, just looking at the, so there might be a little bit of a misprint, or just sometimes it can be tough to interpret the different colors properly. But here, no, that's a misprint here. Well, yeah, okay. I see what they were trying for there. That is technically, yeah, okay. So there's a little bit of a misprint there. But all right, so we got it sorted out at the end. So the gold pieces, those gold 1x2 slope plates go there along the sides to match the color of all the rest of the fittings. So back to the cabin, we have the wood color, that red brown, and those come, okay, we have it turned upside down like that, and we are, all right, nope, we skipped a step. We skipped step 61, and this is why stuff is not fitting. All right, so we have these little 1x1s with the side plates. 2K15 Mr. Forklift, thank you for the follow. All right, and so we're putting those two little plates right there on the ends of the cabins, and the reason why we're doing that is that builds up and gives us the extra surface that we need in step 62 to go ahead and put those wood colored slope plates on. And that is now, those are kind of the side bulkheads for going down into the cabin. All right, so for step 63, we flip this back around. We take that little shiny 1x2 gold plate with the angles, and we put it on the front there to kind of lock those two pieces together. Okay, we're almost done with this. Step 64, we have a gold round piece like that. Okay, and we have one of the gold 1x1 with an upward facing grabber plates, and I'm not seeing that right away, so where did that go hiding? Ah, there it is. It was hiding in a pile of other stuff. So we put that with the grabber claw so that it's, the opening is parallel to the front, to the fore aft axis. All right, so we've got that. Then we take this little gold gun type shape, and it could be a speaker or a loud horn or whatever, and we put that there. And then we have this gold vented 1x2 slope plate, angled plate, and put that down there. And now we've built everything on there. That's step 65. So step 66, we bring it over to our boat and we put it on. And if you notice the way this fits on here, these pieces don't clip in necessarily, but they rest right there on the angle plate, or sorry, trying to get it into camera view. They rest on those rails right there, those wood colored rails. The front clips in, and so now we've got our cabin in there. All right. Pretty cool. Looking like a ship. This is going to be the best ship that I have for a while. So, all right. So we're going to put the ship aside because now we start on the sail. So we've got the ship. We've got our crew up there. All right. Let's start on the sail. Now this is a lot of the Technics pieces. Okay. And so we have these barrel pieces, and they are like 2 studs high, and they're hollow. They're not barrels per se, but I think of them as like barrel connectors. So that's what I'm going to call them. But they've got this little gap here, and that's just so you know they're too wide. All right, so we take one of those, and we take one of these little fittings that is a 1 wide barrel with a little Technics clip on the end, and we just clip that into the end of the barrel in a direction. All right. Step 68. We take one of these black double-sided Technics clips, put that in there, grab another barrel, and build it on. All right, so we're starting to build out the central mast structure and the mast and the spars. And we're using these Technics pieces like this because we're allowing pieces to slide through, and we're going to lock in the sails, you'll see. All right, so we've done that for 68. For step 69, we have, it's a double-sided Technics clip, but it has a barrel in the middle. So that goes in, and we want to make sure that our barrels are, the barrels facing away from the structure that we're building are lined up and parallel. All right, so what we're starting with is one of the spars that the sails rest on. Hang on. All right, so we've got this spar. Now we take a couple of these little small gray Technics pieces. They've got a Technics clip on one side and a little round 1x1 flat stud right there, and those just clip right in there. All right. Now we take another one of the barrels and put that on, and another one of the barrel with Technics clip, and we put that on, and that gets oriented the same way. All right, so we're going to put that aside for a second here, and we're going to go to a new assembly. We're using one of these double-sided shaft joiners, black. All right, we have a Technics shaft that it says it is 8 long, and if you didn't know, in the Lego directions, when they give you a shaft, the number there is how many units long it is. They actually give you a little guide that is 1-to-1 size down on the page, so you can lay it against it and make sure you have the right one. So we need a black 8 long and a gray 7 long. There they go. We have them. So we put the black in one side of the joiner, the gray in the other side of the joiner. Now we take the assembly that we had before, and we take those and we slide it onto the black with the stud sides facing up like that. If the gray side is the up side of the shaft, then that's how we do it. Okay? Now we're going to take, it is one of these black Technics shaft supports, and it basically, it is, these barrels are smooth inside. It's just a round hole. These pieces, these Technics pieces are also, they're slotted, so they slide on the shaft in only one direction. They provide a little bit more friction, and they help lock stuff in place. Okay, so now we slide that up, and this piece can spin on the shaft, but it can't slide down anymore because the piece we just put on helps lock it in place. All right, so we're going to put that assembly aside for a minute, and we're going to build out the next spar. So we're going to take a yellow 5 long shaft and one of those barrels with the shaft piece on it, and we're just going to put it on like that. Okay, then we're going to take the 1 unit Technics barrel and slide it on, and then we're going to take a 2 unit barrel and slide it on. So we don't have that much left sticking out here. All right, so in step 76, then we take one of the black Technics joiners, shaft joiners, and we put that on. We've aligned it so that the holes are facing the same way. In step 77, we take two of our little gray Technics clips with the studs and we slide them into those two holes. All right. And 78, we take our other 7 long gray shaft and we slide that in the other side. And then 79, we take a 2 long Technics barrel, slide that on, and a 1 long, and put that on, all right, for our spacing. And then we take, in step 80, we finally take one more 2 long barrel, and then we take the other barrel that has the Technics shaft joiner on it. There it is right there. And we put that on with it facing up the same way. Now this, we come back to our main mast and shaft assembly. This slides on, studs facing up the same way, slides on the gray side. All right, so we have our mast and our 2 spars now. And so now we take one of the smooth Technics barrels and slide that down onto the gray in step 82. And we are going to put this aside for a little bit. We don't lock that in place yet because now we have to start building pieces of the sail and sliding that on the mast as well. All right, so for step 83, we are going to take a 1x3 white plate. And in step 84, we are going to add to that it is a 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, a 1x10, and we're just going to put it on top just like that. All right. In step 85, we are going to take another one of the same this is a 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, it is a 10. So why do I only have the 1? What have I done wrong? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 2, 4, 6, 8. Oh, well, helps if I can count, first of all. All right, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. This is one of my little tips for counting out and doing sizing. My thumb width is about the width of 2 studs, so I can count these real quick by counting with my thumbs. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. All right, so now that I have the correct size piece, I put that on, and then in step 85, I put the other 1x10 and put it on there. And then in step 86, I take a 1x4 plate and I put it there. So we kind of have this structure that's offset to provide a little bit of rigidity, but we're building it out a little, okay? Now for step 87, I'm going to take a 1x6 brick. I'm going to take a 1x1 brick with a Technics hole in it, and I'm just going to take a plain 1x1 brick. And I'm going to take that Technics hole and put that at the end where we built it up, where we started with the 1x3 plate. I'm going to put the 1x6 there, and I'm going to put the 1x1 block right at the end of that. All right, so I have this 8 long construction. Now in step 88, I'm going to take 2 of these big panels. They're a 4 long 1x4, and I think they're about 3 or 4. Yeah, they're about 3 high, and I'm just going to put them on just like that, and that's building up the bulk of this sail area. And then for step 89, I'm going to take a 1x8 plate and I'm going to put that on top to lock it in place. So why are we not building out into this area to help lock that in? Well, that's because, well, you'll see in a minute. All right, so now we're taking one of those barrels with the Technics clip on it in step 90, and remember that hole that we had facing out? We put that in just like that. That's going to end up sliding over the shaft and helping lock this piece of sail into place on the shaft. So now in step 91, we take one of these big ass slope, one by however big it is, and we just put it on there. And that's why when we built that up, we weren't extending out, because we're matching the size of that piece, and we're going to lock it in elsewise. So remember how we had that little offset lip there? We had a 1x3 at this end and a 1x4 at this end. Well, now we've got one of these string with black 1x1 round flat pieces, and that goes on at that end. So that's part of our sail handling lines. All right, and so now we take this assembly and we slide it onto the shaft here on the gray, and those little gray Technics studs that we slid in there now click into place. And now, if you look, that is all one nice solid unit here, okay, on the spar and the shaft. Okay, so for our, that was step 93. Step 94, we now take another one of these one unit smooth barrel Technics units and slide that onto the shaft on top. And we set that aside again. All right. Now we're going to build up the next part of the bottom of the other sail. So we once again start with one of our trusty 1x3 white plates. And this is where we take a 1x8, the 1x8 that I tried to start with last time, and we just put that on there. And we take a 1x4 and we put it there, so we have that same overlap of the one, and it's going to be for the same reason, okay? This time we're taking three white 1x6 bricks, stacking them together and putting them on there so that our offset lip is not flush with it. All right? Now we take two of our remaining 1x1 white bricks that do not have holes in them, and we take one of these 1x2 3 high slopes and we put that on, and we stack those 1x1s and we put that on there, and then I just place it down flat against the surface to line everything up so it's all done. All right, now I take one of the 1x1 with the Technics hole, I take one of the Technics barrels with the clip, I put that in, and I put that on top just like that. And you probably know now from the other one what that's for, but that's going to slide onto the shaft and lock this into place. All right, so now we're going to take another one of those 1x4x3 high. We're going to take another one of those 1x2x3 high slopes, and we're just going to tie that in. Ship's bells. All right, and it is 11:30. All right, so 11:30 Pacific. All right, so we take the other one of those strings with the two black, one flat round, and we put that on there, and that's step 102. And now we come back to our main assembly, and we slide, okay? We take that, and that at the top, we slide that down, and as we slide that down, we align it with this, and we're able to click those studs into place. And now we have both pieces of our sail locked in onto the shaft. And that is 103. All right, step 104, we take this whole assembly. We take one of the Technics shaft joiners. We slide it on there and just keep everything nice and tight. We do so, not so tight that we're making pieces fall off. That's no good. And then we take our other gray 7 long Technics shaft and we put it in the other side of the joiner. All right, so we're building up our mast and sail assembly. All right, so we take this on the bigger side and we have a 1x3 brick white and two 1x4. Okay. We have one of our 1x1 with a Technics hole, and we have one of our Technics barrel with a clip on it, and we'll put that in the hole because we know that that's where it goes. All right. So we'll take our 1x3, we'll add our two 1x1s to the, or 1x4s to the top of it. We'll put that on top of the 1x3, and now we come back to the large sail, and we slide that down and put that in place. All right, and that if we've done put everything in correctly, everything is all nice and snug. All right, so that was step 105. 106, okay, we're now going to take one of these 1x4x3 pieces, put that there, 1x2x3, and build it up on the smaller sail. All right, so we're just continuing to build that up. 107, we're going to take one of the 1 unit barrel units and put that down on the shaft. And 108, we're going to temporarily put that assembly aside, and we're going to grab a 1x2 white brick, 2 1x3 bricks, a 1x1 with the Technics hole white brick, and then the 1 unit barrel with the Technics clip on it. So we're taking the 1x3, putting a 1x2 on it, putting the Technics, the 1x1 with the Technics hole on the end, and putting the other 1x3 on top of that, snapping the barrel with the Technics clip on it like that and aligning it. And that now comes down on we grab our sail assembly again, we slide this down, and that comes down onto the onto this side. All right. Then we take one of our 1 unit Technics barrels and slide that back on there. All right, so we're slowly building this up, interlocking as we go. Temporarily put it aside again, and we take a 1x3 brick. We take 3 1x4 plates. We take our 1x1 with a white with a Technics hole and our 1 barrel with a Technics clip. So we take one of the 1x4 plates, we put the 1x3 on it, we put the 1x1 with the Technics hole on it with the hole facing out. We take another 1x4, put it there, and we take the last 1x4, put it on top. So we end up with something that's too high, but it's 2 brick units high, but it's staggered. Okay, because it takes 3 plates to equal the height of 1 brick unit. Okay, so we shove that Technics clip in there, and this now comes down, and we're doing that just to offset the spacing here of how we're doing it, so everything still fits in nice and tight. All right, so we've done that for 110. For 111, we take one of these big angle pieces. It's a 1x6 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, all right, and so we put that on to continue building up that side of the sail. All right. This is still kind of a little rickety at this point, but it will lock together and be a lot more stable. All right, so now we're going to take one of the Technics shaft joiners and put that there, and then we have a smaller Technics shaft. It's gray and it's 3 units long, so that goes in the other end. So we're nearing the end of what we're doing here, okay? All right, so we've done that for 112. For 113, we're taking 2 of the 1x2x3s, and we're taking this 1x2. So these are the 1x2x3 slopes, and this is a 1x2x3 brick, and we just put that on, and then put the angle on, or the slope on, and the slope on. So that is almost built up to the top. All right, good stuff. All right, so we're going to put that aside for just a second while we build the cap for that side. So what we're going to do, we're going to take 2 1x1 white bricks with no holes. We're going to take the last 1x2x3. We're going to take 1x1 with a Technics hole. We're going to take 1 of these 1x2 1 high slopes, and we're going to take the 1 unit barrel with the Technics clip. And so we're going to take the 1x1 with the Technics hole, and then put the other 2 1x1s, stack them on top of it like that. Let's shove it against the bottom to line them up. And then we're going to take the 1x2x1 slope and just kind of put that on top to form this stack here, okay? Then we add the 1x2x3, we add the 1x2x3 high to the assembly, good Lord. All right. All right, everything's copacetic. We add the clip into the Technics hole, and then this, we grab our main sail assembly, slide that on, and lock it in place. All right, looking fairly majestic there. Okay, so now we take one of the Technics shaft joiners and we take the black wand. And we put that in one side of the shaft joiner, and we put the other end on the final exposed bit of the shaft. So that is sticking up, and it is shifted from the Technics shaft to just that wand. And the reason why that wand is just the right diameter, where we have these studs that are open, it's just the right diameter to go through those. So we're going to end up using those at the top to cap these sails off and lock everything in place. All right, so we're going to take our last 1x6x5 slope, 1x2x1 slope. We put that on top like that to angle it in, and we put that over here on this side. And so we have built both sails now for 116. All right, 117. We have exactly two. I just dropped a piece. I will come back for that in a minute when I have to find it. All right, shoot. All right, so we have two of these reddish brown 1x2 plates, but they're rounded edges and the studs are hollow, okay? And so what we can do is we can put one of them down on that shaft, we put it down and lock it into the stud there, and then the second one slides down and locks onto the other sail. So at the top, we now have everything locked in place. So the sail spars can shift around on the main mast, okay? But everything is locked in both top and bottom. Okay, so just take a second to tighten everything up. We'll put that aside. And now, on 118, we go ahead and we take that and we take our ship. Remember how I said that was where our mast goes, that buildup? So we take a second to get that lined up and slide that down and socket it home. And so now everything is there. So we take this on the back sail, we take that and we take the other end of the string and we put it there on top. Sorry. So the string ties in, we put it there. And on the front, the head sail, the other end of its string goes right on the front there on that stud. So now our sails are tied in. They've got a little bit of flexibility to move around. All right, so I'm going to put that down for a minute. And so we have two of these gold. So for step 119, we have two of these gold color, and these are kind of these are the lightsaber handle pieces, if they're done in like silver. Okay, so we got two of those. Actually, no, these are not the lightsaber handles. My bad. These are, we do have one of those as well that we will use here in a minute. These are, I forget what they're called, but they could almost be a telescope, honestly. That's what they kind of look like. So we take two of those. We take two of the brown, the reddish brown wand / rods. We take two of our 1x1 round studs with the hollow studs, and we take two of those gold grabbers that fit on top of the shaft. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take the telescope piece, we're going to put the stud in the bottom of it, just like that. We're going to put the shaft in the top of it, and we're going to put the grabber on top, just like that. So we have this assembly now, and we're going to do that twice. Round stud, telescope piece, rod, grabber. Okay, so now we've got two of those, And now we take our ship, we'll bring it back here, and we fit those. So the round stud piece, or the round plate, fits onto the end of those flexible tubes that we put on earlier in step 1 for the railing. All right, so that fits on, and we need to make sure and this is where this gets a little delicate. Just got to take a couple minutes, a few extra seconds to just kind of move stuff around and make sure everything kind of lines up. The grabbers are parallel, and push stuff in so it's all lined up. All right, so that's what we've got. That was 119. So 120, now we take, this is the shape that is the lightsaber handle, okay? And one of these black little T-rods, and we shove that in there, and then the T-tops fit into those grabber clips. If we can get this to stay on. Now that's kind of our bowsprit. Okay, so we've finished that portion of the ship. Okay, see, there we are. We've got our sail attached. We've got everything on. So we're going to put that aside. All we have left to do, really, we've got some extra pieces, and we've got our dolphins, our little patch of water with dolphins on it. So we take the blue round plate. Well, you know what? Before we go into that, I'm going to grab a drink real fast. All right, what is the final product? So I've got some questions here. Beats mail flow. All right, behold the construction of the sloop John B. It's the Eloise, but yeah, pretty much the sloop John B. So the final product we're working towards, this is the Lego Ideas Sailboat Adventure. It's a fairly new set that's just come out. It's only about 330 pieces. And it's just a little two-person sailing boat with a little bit of additional detail around it for the water and dolphins and everything. So that was a great question. And thank you for the follow. Is it Barry V? And I think I said Mr. Forklift, thank you for the follow as well. All right, so let's get to it. This is the last piece here. So we take the round blue plate and we take 4 of these, and we're running out of these, which is good because that means we're doing it right. And we take 4 of these clear 1x1 slope pieces. All right. And we just put them onto this plate in the indicated fashion. All right. So we'll just do that real fast. And I really do like how they use these clear plates to build up and use as water and waves and wake. It's really, really kind of clever. All right, so now we have some of these little crystals here, and we've got 2 of the light blue and 1 of the dark blue. And so for this step, we're going to use 1 light blue and 1 dark blue, and we're just going to put these here, just kind of following Y. Okay, that must go there. Yep. All right, so then we take our first dolphin. Now the dolphin tails are really, this is where they snap onto this plate, and it's kind of weird here. So you got to look, and basically that's one attachment here. Let me see if I have a little pointer here. So that's one attachment point, and that's one attachment point. So the way it fits on here, we take this plate and we go like that, and it kind of fits between some of the studs. All right, so that's our first dolphin. Now we're going to take, these are our actual window pieces originally, and there's one that's 2 high and one that's 3 high. So we take those clear ones and we put them on here to represent more built up. Okay, and then we take our final light blue crystal and put it at the top. Okay, and then we take our second dolphin and we fasten it to the 2 high. And so now we've got our dolphin action. All right. So we have a few extra pieces here. No biggie. There's always going to be some extras of the smaller ones. All right. So we've got our ship. Okay. We've got our dolphins. So let's take a look real quick at some of the detail on here again. Specifically, I was talking about, for those of you who joined later in the stream, the water plate at the bottom of the ship uses those clear pieces to build up the wake of the ship passing through the water. Okay? And there's our anchor chain, our life preserver ring, our cabin, our tiller. And so now we can take, so those little 2 studs that are there along the railing are there for one of our minifigs. They are our assigned male at build minifig. And you know, he's doing a starboard beam fix with the binoculars, and then we have our intrepid assigned female at build minifig here in the back with her hand on the tiller, actually doing the navigation. All right. Ah, she just lost her hair. All right. So we get her in, get that clipped in her hand, and there we go. Now we have our complete sailboat adventure set all completed. All right. So that was a fun build. We've got a couple extra pieces left. We've got our Lego tools, the build tools. Again, these are really the Lego build tools. They come in the 2 different color varieties. Used to be they were giving them out in the orange. They started switching to these turquoise ones. These are really, really handy. If you're ever going to resell your Legos, learn to use these to help get your Lego pieces apart, because these will preserve the state of your Legos, and you will get better value, because, you know, if you're trying to use your fingernails or something else to dig in between to get small pieces apart, you can almost always use these helpers to do it. And if I remember right, at the official Lego stores, if you go in, you can get these just separately, but they almost always come in the bigger sets anymore. Sounds like the mechanic from Doc Hollywood. There's always a few parts left over when I get done. Yeah, well, Lego does that deliberately with some of the smaller pieces. They add extras in just in case you lose them or drop them on the floor. Like I did that one piece that I'm going to have to go chase down here in a few minutes. All right, so that is done. Okay, let me take my headset off real fast. And all right, chat. So we're done with the Lego build for now. Let's see. All right, yeah, no, this isn't the ship in the bottle set. I don't know. I don't know about that one. It's a really intricate build, and a lot of people like it. Just kind of not my thing. All right, so let me switch over back to. All right, just talking. All right, so we've turned the camera off and we're back. All right, so that took us almost 2 hours. Okay, so so far so good. The migraine is staying away. So I feel like we can go ahead and keep making some progress here. I do want to, once again, let me repaste this URL in chat. And this is a lot of marginalized streamers, streamers of color, streamers in the LGBTQIA community have been seeing a rise in hate raids on Twitch lately. They have been basically bot armies come in and raid the channel and just start spewing spam and hate messages and offensive terms and using actual offensive user icons like Nazi symbols and crap like that. And so that link is, if you are a Twitch streamer or someone who is interested in helping out Twitch streamers, that is a link to resources that the Twitch streamer community are pulling together, a variety of different bots, a variety of different tutorials on how to create panic buttons for your stream control system so you can shut down these hate raids, and to try to build more awareness about what's going on. They did hit, so far they don't seem to be hitting major streamers, although they did hit Twitch gaming. So part of it seems to be automated, and it seems to be tied into what tags streamers are using. Go to that link if you're a Twitch streamer or you have technical resources that you can contribute to helping code, helping teach people, helping moderate for people, whatever. And that will be useful for smaller streamers who are getting buried by these hate raids. Some streamers are getting buried every time they try to stream. So, and Twitch, they're trying to work with Twitch and work with some of the bigger support entities in the Twitch universe, like Stream Elements, to help provide traction for Twitch building bigger and better tools in its API and doing some of this on the back end to help protect the streamers. It's a process. It takes time. But this is this URL takes you to a fantastic website that is collecting all the resources, gives you a link to the Discord server where a lot of the coordination and development is happening. So that's important. And also September 1st is a hashtag Twitch Do Better. It's a day that many of the streamers are going to stay off of Twitch entirely. They will not stream. They will not log in and follow other streams on Wednesday, September 1st, as a way to try to continue build awareness of what is going on. All right, so that's that. Let's take a 5 minute break. It's 11:55 by my time, so 5 minutes. I'll be back sharp at noon. And we'll move into the next step. We might talk a little bit of music before we move into The Witcher. So we will be, let's make sure. Yep. All right. So we will be right back here in 5 minutes. All right, I've been babbling all this time and had my microphone on mute, so that's no good. All right, so sorry about that. So we're back, and I just wanted to take a couple minutes to talk about the technical issues here. That why I'm not doing more of the music related stuff today. All right, so this is a USB audio interface, and what this is, it plugs into the computer via USB port. But at the other, it's got all the electronics and everything necessary, the connectors, so that this will interface with, I can plug in my guitar, my guitars into it. I can plug in XLR cables for microphones. I've got the ability to supply phantom power for the condenser microphones that need it. So I can use a lot of the more sophisticated audio hardware with this, and it's got the audio, the digital to analog and analog to digital converters in here to turn it all into the necessary, byte streams that Windows will see. So this shows up as a sound card in Windows, and it's got various channels assigned to it. It's got a couple of MIDI ports on the back for old school MIDI gear. And it's got a stereo TRS output for headphones, and it's got two mono quarter-inch TRS outputs for going to powered monitor speakers like you'd have in a home studio. Okay, and what that does, that little unit, I can plug in two instruments, I can have MIDI, and I can have monitors and headphones set up so I can monitor the sound as it's coming in through here. And so this shows up in Windows as two separate devices depending on what kind of driver I'm installing it and using it as. And this allows me, using the control panel for this, let's go take a look at what that looks like real fast. Let's see, it is, there we go. All right, so let's switch over. So here's the control panel for mine. So this is a PreSonus. You'll see Focusrite Scarlett's often used. They're the little red boxes with the black front. They're pretty good. They come in all sorts of different sizes of a single channel, dual channel. The 2i2s are usually the common. You can get ones that have 4. You can get rack mount units that have more than that. A lot of streamers you might see have something that looks like a small mixer board that usually has a USB audio interface capability in it as well. So they can plug in stuff, they can adjust the levels and effects and EQ and everything on their various sound inputs, and then input it into the computer as left-right channels. And so that just plugs in, you load your USB drivers, and then you have something like this, which sets the sample rate. Why is that? That needs to be at 48. All right, and then the clock source and the block size. All right. And so that sets the parameters that you need for when we then open up a program like Ableton Live, a digital audio workstation, or something else. It has a couple of different driver models that it can use to detect these things and start pulling the audio sources in from them as an input, and looping stuff back out to the monitor channel on them. And so the way Ableton works, okay, so we fired up Ableton Live here, and so we've got our typical project where we've got a couple MIDI channels here. We've got our 2 audio channels. Hang on, got to switch glasses again since I'm looking at the farther away monitor. Got to put my normal glasses back on. All right, so we've got our 2 audio channels here, and you notice that these say the audio is from external in, and I have here it's AB96, that's audio box 96 left, and or 1 and 2. So those are my 2 input channels. So I can have 2 microphones, a microphone and an instrument, or 2 instruments plugged in at the same time, and have the 2 channels in. So I've got, and I can have multiple audio tracks set up and use the same channel over and over. I just can't, so like I could, in theory, arm both of these tracks for recording, Okay. And then record when I hit record, it would be pulling in the input from both those tracks at the same time. So if I was playing a guitar and someone had a bass guitar, we could be plugged in and playing live at the same time, and Ableton would be able to record it. Or I could have a microphone. I could have two microphones plugged in. I've got a couple of over here. You can see I've got a couple of Shure microphones, one meant for doing instruments and one for doing voice. And so if I was playing an acoustic guitar, I could have my guitar mic'd and then have a mic for me singing, have both microphone channels running into this and record them at the same time as separate tracks. Okay, so I can go back and do it later. So that's kind of cool. But there also then, one of the settings here is audio 2. So once you have that in for each of these tracks, I can go add in additional plugin effects. So like if I had a guitar coming in on channel 1, I could add in, well, let me show you. I can go into my plugins and I could go down and of course now let me go back to VST because there I can find. All right, so like I have this plugin here. Let me fire it up. And what this does, this is a plugin from a company called Brainworks, and this allows me to emulate the sound of a ton of different amps and amp and cabinet combinations. All right, so I have all these options and I can change all these effects on all of them, change the equalizer. And so what this allows me to do, with no effects pedals, without an amp, I can take my electric guitar, I can plug it straight into my interface, and then virtually in the software, I can emulate all these different classic sounds in the software. And so I attach that to the track, I get the settings, and then when I'm playing, what I'm hearing is just the plain guitar, but that audio comes in through the audio interface, through the channel, gets converted to a digital stream, comes into Ableton. Ableton's attaching those plugins and those effects. I can add reverb, I can add phaser, distortion, all sorts of chorus, all those classic effects pedals. I can add them virtually to really shape the sound the way I want it to. And it will add that in on the fly and then loop it back out to my master bus. All right, and a bus in audio terms is basically just a shared communication channel. Okay, so the master bus is then where I can attach effects that I want to have on all of my tracks, so I can unify the sound and maybe I'm doing some compression, maybe I'm doing some additional stuff that I want for everything. And so for my master, then I can tell it where I want that sound to come out, to monitor it. So I can, so I have it set for the stereo output right now. Okay, so then when I go and I'm recording or I'm playing, whatever I've got recorded in those tracks gets all those effects processed, comes through the master, and then comes out back to my audio interface, to those monitor and headset ports that I have on there. So I can hear what, as I'm playing live, I can hear the effects as it's going to sound. All right. So here's the problem. Because it's rendering all of that sound internally and it's sending it back out to the audio interface, that is a separate Windows sound device. It's a separate output or speaker device. And using a protocol called ASIO, which was developed by the music industry, and it's kind of like a shared bus, so you can assign inputs and outputs and easily route your audio traffic between them. ASIO gives you the best performance. It uses it is a better technology to use rather than some of the old Windows Media or DirectX drivers that these devices can also show up as. But when you use ASIO, the output device on the audio box, the monitor stuff, it shows up as a speaker device, but it is a write-only speaker device. OBS can't attach to it. OBS being the broadcast system that I'm using to stream to Twitch. OBS Studio can't attach to those ASIO output devices. Well, I mean, it can attach to them, but because they're only designed to be written to and not monitored as well, it gets no sound traffic. So the upshot is, last stream, I was playing guitar through here and y'all couldn't hear it. And I had to switch the drivers to the DirectX version, and then the performance, it ate a lot more CPU. It was more choppy. It wasn't as reliable. It wasn't a good situation. So long term, you want to use the ASIO drivers for doing this. So there's a couple pieces. So there's two ways to get around this. One is hardware. I could get another audio interface, and I could take those monitor ports, plug it into one of the channels on the new audio interface, okay? And then let that, so as this is monitoring, then Ableton doesn't know anything. We don't configure Ableton to talk to that second audio interface. Ableton's only dealing with this one. The second audio interface, OBS can attach to the input, because it has no problem attaching to the input. And so it would have, where I normally have my headset plugged in here, that would go into the audio interface as a monitor. So the monitor out from the audio box would go to one of the input channels on the other interface, and it would be a stereo in, and it would then be picked up, and OBS could process the input from that device, and that would be an audio source that I could select and send out on the stream. All right. Fairly simple, fairly reliable. It's working in hardware, doesn't require any extra software. But audio interfaces are, while not super expensive, they're still more money than I really wanted to get. The other solution is in software, and that's finding some way to clone that output and send it. And so there's a really awesome digital audio workstation, DAW, out there by the name of Reaper. And as part of it, Reaper includes this bundle of plugins, of VST plugins, and one of them is called Restreamer. And what that is meant for is, say I have multiple computers in my studio, and some are controlling some devices, and one's my master digital audio workstation, so on and so forth. And so I want to get sound from one device to the other. Well, what Restreamer does is allows you to send that sound across the network from one Restreamer plugin instance to another. One of them sets up as a sender, the other one sets up as a receiver. And so you can send that across. And so what I do in Ableton is in the master bus, and I have a project already set up to do this. All right, so I open the project and I come to the master bus, and you see now I have a Restreamer plugin here on the master bus. And so if I go in and configure this, I have this set up with an identifier of OBS, and this is sending audio to my local host broadcast. Okay, and in networking terms, it's the loopback interface, so it's just talking to the computer itself. It's not going across the network. So other instances in here can listen to that. Well, it turns out OBS has the ability to use VST plugins. So Reaper, the company that makes Reaper, also makes these plugins available for standalone download for free. They're less capable versions than what you get with the Reaper DAW, but all of those plugins that they have that do some cool stuff, including Restreamer, are available for free. So what you do then, you configure this in your master bus, because remember, this is where all of your channels are set up to dump everything to the master bus. All right. And so everything's set up to output to the master bus. The master bus is set up to push the output there, but I now have this plugin this Restreamer plugin in the master bus of my project. And so it will now send the audio out, and then in OBS I have to configure the instance of that plugin that receives that and set that up as a separate sound source in OBS. So I have all of that set up and it's working, but it's not 100% reliable yet. There's a couple finicky networking issues that I have to figure out because it is using, even though it's not going across my network interface, it's using the networking infrastructure. So there's a couple small details I have to figure out to get it 100% reliable, but I didn't have to spend any money. I was able to download the plugins for free, throw in, 2 or 3 hours of configuring and troubleshooting and stuff like that to get it working. And then I just have to make sure that every time I set up a new Ableton Live set, that I add this plugin to the master bus, and that I've got everything set up to send the sound to the master bus. And since you can add multiple plugins to each of your channels or each of your buses to add different effects, the order that you put them in is important. So this would be the last plugin on that bus. So all the other effects would take place and then get handed off to this, where it would shoot a copy of it out that OBS could then pick up. So that's going to be the solution going forward, unless I'm just flat out unable to get it to work, in which case I'll have to go buy another interface and do it that way. Now, there's an upside to getting the interface. One, it's a much more reliable solution. I don't have to mess around with Ableton adding that additional plugin, because each plugin you put in is a little bit of additional CPU overhead. This is a fairly beefy box. I'm not worried about it for right now, but that could be an impact later, because I do have a lot of software running while I'm streaming. But, right now we're sitting here at 2.5% CPU usage. So I've got a lot of overhead. I'm not horribly worried about it. But the other advantage of doing it that way is then it's all hardware. It just works. I don't no software tinkering, no driver updates or Windows updates that mess with it, potentially, all that kind of stuff. And I have all these nice hardware knobs on the interfaces to twiddle, so I can immediately mute or turn the volume down, adjust and mix and stuff like that. So I may still end up going the hardware route down the road, but that also gives me, so if I get another 2 input unit, then what that does, I take the stereo output and run it in to the channel, to one of my 2 new channels, and then I've got one more channel for a mic. And I do need to, right now this is a USB mic, and USB mics are okay. This is a clone of the classic Blue Yeti USB mic, which the Blue Yeti has a really good reputation, and deservedly so, as a USB mic. But for doing more professional audio as I go, I'm going to want to switch over to an XLR condenser or dynamic mic. And so I would need to have another port available for that, because I've got 2 ports here. Devin, I hear you say you have a guitar and you have a microphone, and that works. Well, I may want to be... So my acoustic guitar, the main one that I play, actually, it's an electric acoustic guitar. So it has the built-in pickups in it. It has a little equalizer, and so I can just plug it in and send it to here. And there are some technical reasons once you get into recording guitar, whether it's an electric guitar, an electric acoustical, you end up wanting to record it multiple ways at the same time, and that requires multiple channels. So I'm thinking that the audio box here will end up being exclusively dual channels for the guitar, and then I'd need another channel, another spare channel for the microphone. But that's down the road. So I may use the software solution for now, and then as things grow, if things grow, go ahead and upgrade to using the additional interface. Or I just may need to bite the bullet, get the additional interface, and get that set up, and not worry about the software stuff if I can't get it working. So that's where we're at. That's why I don't have, why I'm not doing the music stuff today, because between the migraine and everything else, troubleshooting this, I ran out of time to finish getting everything working properly, and I don't want to be in a situation again where I'm trying to stream and you can't hear what I'm doing. All right, so so that's that. Let's go ahead and close out. And what we will do, that's my OBS. I don't want to kill that. So what we are going to do now is we're going to toss a coin to our Witcher. Yes, we are. All right, so launch the game. All right. Did it just die? It just died. Oh, no, it didn't. All right. So what happened was I used a control somewhere else. All right. That's a little loud, so let's turn that down. All right, let me know how the mix is on that, if that's too loud for you.
His name was...
Man, that gets super loud. All right, hang on.
Monster Slayer. An unusual contract to lift the...
All right, so we've been through that already. That was the short story. We saw the variant of it in season 1 of the show on Netflix, where he's working for King Foltest, and rescues his daughter from being the Striga. This is still super loud. So the problem is every time I go into OBS, the game's running in full screen mode. And so every time I go into OBS, it pauses the game. All right, so let me know if I've got the mix at a better level for you now. All right, so this is all 822, 1356 autosave, 1402, 1409, 1413. All right, so the Witcher's Laboratory. This is the last part where I was. All right. So we had the attack on Kaer Morhen, the Witcher's lair. All right. So there's Vesemir. Whoops. All right, so clearly I need to check my key bindings again. All right, so controls. Move forward is the movement is the WSAD. Steel and silver are Q and E. Extra weapon 1, RTU, K. Non-combat is tab. Next weapon, previous weapon, strong style, fast style, group style. Okay, and then the signs are the numbers. Potions are 6, 7, 8. Panels, high is inventory, hero, map, journal, and alchemy. And then camera. Okay. All right, so I wanted to go into non-combat mode, which was tab.
Eskel came by while you were resting. Triss is still unconscious, but stable.
That's a relief.
I've made a decision, Wolf. We abandon Kaer Morhen. There's nothing holding us here.
I see.
We need to bid Leo farewell and wait for Triss to recover.
And the bandits?
Yes, we need to finish things. But first, we must make a healing potion for Triss. We'll need to search for ingredients. Nothing useful left here.
I can do that. How do I make the potion?
Lambert will give you the formula. Look for him by the fireplace. He's with our brave sorceress.
Lambert? He doesn't hate Triss?
Feels guilty, I think. The first thing Triss will hear when she wakes is, "Finally awake, Marigold." That's Lambert. Let's get to work. Later I'll teach you how to extract ingredients from monsters. I'll be in the main hall.
Fine.
Okay, left click on the scroll icon to open the journal. Or press J. Quest to see your next mission. Choose the potion for Triss quest, then left click. Okay. Alright, cool. Alright, so... Alright, so let's grab that. What is...
All that's missing is a mage who'd know how to use this.
Alright, so we definitely want to get Triss set back up. Was that the only thing we could loot? Alright, Vesemir, what's going on?
Pay for this.
Yes, they will. Alright, so we will make them pay. Alright, so there's nothing left to loot here. So M brings up our map, so I'm here, circle of elements is there, stairs to the ground floor. Okay, that's cool. Journal, alright, cool. So there's tutorials. Okay, quests, characters, locations, monsters. Alright, so defending Kaer Morhen. Alright. Let's do this. So this is...
Mosses and grasses. The smell is heady. They once laid me down here.
Alright. Keep thinking spacebar is jump. Alright, so I got in here. How do I get out? Shit. Come on, let me out. Did I get myself into an area I wasn't supposed to? Awesome. Alright, so let's go back and reload. So I'll have to talk to Vesemir again. So I'm going to come over to the wardrobe, and I'm going to loot the wardrobe just like I did last time. Alright, I've got everything.
Eskel came by.
That's a relief. I see.
We need...
And the...
Yes.
I can... Lambert.
Feels... Let's get later.
Fine.
Alright. Okay, so... Quests, potion for Triss, track quest on map. Alright. That's the way I came. So I think this way goes to... Is this the circle of elements down here? Yeah, okay, so this is where... Oh, but there is a crate here. A whetstone. Hell yeah. Alright, cool. Oh. Did I just learn another sign? All right. Yikes. Yeah, let's not run off the edge. Let's not die. Alright, so there's not too many ways to go. It looks more impressive, but really most of this is blocked off from me. Alright, and there's Lambert. So Lambert's going to give me my quest.
Geralt, is something wrong?
No time to talk. I need to make a potion for Triss.
You should find a vial of white gull in the armory on the upper floor. Grab some calcium equum from the evening hall. Look for white stones in one of the chests. If you find any stragglers, finish them. We don't need prisoners. The stairs are through that door. I'd go, but Marigold lies unconscious by the fire.
Lambert, I have to tell you something.
What is it?
Leo. The bandits killed him.
He wasn't ready. What a loss. We'll hunt them down, Wolf. We'll avenge Leo.
Where's the calcium equum again?
In the evening hall, inside a chest.
Where can I get some alcohol?
There should be white gull in a crate in the armory on the upper floor. The room's full of weapons. You'll know it when you see it.
I'll find you later.
All right. So I can go in the kitchen now. I'll have to go all the way around to... I interacted with the fireplace and it's making me go all the way around. What the hell?
What do you need?
I'll find you later.
Okay, so he's more... Ah, okay, there's Triss. Yeah, okay, I get it. Triss is in a bad way. Wait, why am I seeing chicken? Where's the chicken? I want some chicken. Chicken sounds good. Hell yeah! Give me the chicken! Chicken! Alright. Oh, and there's a barrel that I forgot to loot. Alright, and that is flint. Give me everything. Alright, so now I need to go... So this keeps saying I need to go this way. Okay, so I need to go through here. I think there's a... Yep, there's a bandit. Alright, I'm going to... Ah! Okay, I'm sucking.
You dare challenge the Salamandra!
Alright, so I need to use... There we go. Loot. All right. So suck on that, boys. Okay, so the upper floor to the armory, and that's where I'm going to find the...
You'll regret the day you were born.
Nope. You first.
Mess with me and you die. I'll make you screw.
Okay, got all the rest of the bandits. Good. Alright, now let's go... Ooh, library. We like libraries. Why are there pigeons in the library? That's fucked up. Nice. Bottled water. Hydration is important. Toss a water to your witcher. All right. Oh, nice. Okay. Oh. All right. So that's routing around the damage to the stairs, so I can keep going upstairs. There's a crate back in there, so I need to go back out into the hall. It goes down to ground floor. What's this room over here? There's the crate. An unknown potion. Hell yeah! Let's experiment. Let's get Let's get shit-faced, Geralt. Alrighty. That room is locked. There's the evening hall. Cool. That's one of the places I wanted to go. There's a bunch of... Ooh. So I got me an axe and I got me a dagger. Okay. So I have alternative weapons now. So this must be the armory. No, maybe it's not. Cool. All right. Found the alcohol. Now I go into the evening hall. Calcium equum. All right. Flint. All right. So I've got all my potions. Conjunction, junction. What's your function? Stairs back down to the ground floor. Alright, so Lambert's going to teach me how to do some alchemy.
What do you need?
Done. I have the ingredients, and it's safe upstairs.
Fuck yeah, it's
Good.
safe.
You'll need 2 more things to make the potion. The claw of a mighty beast and some celandine. Vesemir will tell you where to find them. Let me teach you the formula.
Alright, so. Potion for Triss. Frightener's Claw with ingredients. Celandine, Frightener's Claw. Although calcium equum can replace the latter. Once gathered, okay. Mixed with white gall. Okay. So. Alright, so I need to go find Vesemir again, and he's back down. I need to head back down to the laboratory. Alright. Can't I just jump down there? No. Alright. Ah, there's Vesemir. Let's talk to Eskel first.
Need anything, Wolf?
I have some questions.
What is it?
What do I use as the base for my potion?
Alcohol. The better it is, the purer and more powerful your potion.
You seem to feel at home here.
Well, I've always preferred an armory to a lab. Though Vesemir plays still, he tries to teach us everything.
Couldn't Triss have helped?
Maybe. It's a little more complicated than that. See, we've never shown her the lab, and the last mutation was completed years ago, before the battle. Vesemir can tell you.
You really think?
She respects our secrets.
So why haven't you shown?
Triss would like to use our secrets to heal people and such. I've no doubt she'd try, but it's never that simple. Ever heard of the gnome Alfred Nabel?
Eskel, I have amnesia.
An incomparable inventor, like most of his race. Through years of research, he discovered an amazing substance. He intended it for use in mines and quarries.
Huh.
Though a genius, Alfred failed to foresee his invention's possible applications.
Alfred Nabel, Alfred Noble.
Others quickly realized that a substance designed to rip granite from the ground could destroy castle
Dynamite,
walls.
nice.
Some even considered using it in open battle.
I get it. So what happened to Alfred's discovery?
Mages stopped it from spreading. Alfred committed suicide, and his lab burned down.
Tell me about the trial of the grasses.
It's a 3-stage process. The first is the choice. Leo completed it, enduring the hard training and diet.
I presume it's more than your basic lettuce and carrots.
Special mushrooms, mosses, and herbs are grown in the lab. Combined with training, they accelerate muscle growth and digestion, improving the body's general condition.
Does everyone pass the first stage?
Unfortunately not. The liver and heart often fail. The mind sometimes too, resulting in excessive aggression.
What's the second stage?
The trial of the grasses. More idiotic tales have been... Before the raid, the lab contained vials, hearths, formulae, herbs.
Did you ever witness a trial?
Just one. Our own. I thought I was going to lose it when your hair turned white. The grasses affect the nervous system, so magic must control the process. The trial results in
Quite a cut. And the last stage?
I don't know the specifics. It involves changes like the mutation of the eyes, the bone marrow, hormones. In exchange, we see in the dark.
Interesting.
We're infertile.
The changes are irreversible?
Entirely.
Did you see the magic storm?
Yes, I was out hunting. Just before the usually less of them gather, and their cries rarely sound so dead.
We'll talk later.
Okay. The old I have amnesia.
Oh, that was a tough fight.
I found a few intruders upstairs, but...
I understand they won't be a problem. Lambert, however, let the Frightener get to him. Nothing serious. Good you went after Triss and handled that mage.
She was able to salvage some equipment, but it looks like the main device has vanished.
Our beautiful sorceress was right, I know. You did well, Wolf. Take this armor and sword. I've been keeping them for you.
Lambert gave me the formula.
I take it you already have white gull and calcium equum.
I do. What next?
You'll need celandine. Take what I have. Plus the claw of a monster like the Frightener. To skin a creature, take a sharp knife and cut along the torso. You'll find the Frightener's carcass in the upper courtyard. Once you've extracted the claw, rest by the fire while making the potion.
Okay.
Yes?
Yeah, let's keep talking.
What if I get the ingredients?
You'll have to find...
Where?
I'll have another. Eskel has alcohol, and I saw...
Are there...
There were 3 Witcher schools in all. You've met all the Witchers I know of, except for Berengar.
Did I know him?
I don't believe so. Actually, none here. He often ran away from after the trial of the grass.
Why isn't he?
I don't know.
Can I ask?
Of course.
Who was Lee?
One of hundreds of orphans of the war with Nilfgaard.
I'm sorry.
We'll recover our secrets and find...
Huh, so this is after... Huh, okay.
Can I ask you?
Of course.
You mentioned...
Yes. 15 witchers once lived here, training boys for their trials. Before the battle, 23 witchers and 40... I never knew why they came. But no. Someone provoked. Truer still, the fanatics could never have taken the fort without the aid of sorcery. They didn't even spare the youngest. Walk around, Wolf. The skeletons remain. You...
Can I ask you something?
Of course.
Any idea?
No. But the mage suggests no ordinary.
We'll speak later.
Okay. Cool. Alright, so I've got studded leather jacket. I've got my Witcher's steel sword. I do not have a silver sword yet, I do not believe. Okay. Control and left click to separate the stack. All right. Got to get out of that habit. Okay, so I got the claw and the eye. So I can do the potion for Trist and the Frightener's vision potion as well. Okay. Ooh. Alright, so I got the bits of the Frightener that I need, so let's go back and make the potion for Triss. Alright.
Where are Lambert and Eskel?
Upstairs. Lambert's in the library, and Eskel's...
I have all the...
Good. Now rest.
We'll speak later.
Okay, so I'm trying to find... I've got the... Okay, so there's my base, is the White Gull. I've got the stuff, so I click on the hourglass now. Where's the hourglass? Right there.
Yes?
We'll speak later.
Okay, do I have the potion for Triss now? I do not. Okay, what am I doing wrong here? How did I get into alchemy mode? Is it L? Okay. Okay, what did I do wrong?
Yes?
We'll speak later.
Okay. There we go. So now I'm in meditation mode. Potion for Triss. So why is that red? Ah, that's how I mix it. Okay. I don't have enough ingredients to make anything else. All right. Okay. Figured it out. All right, up to Triss's room. Still can't get in that room.
How can I help?
Couldn't Triss have helped with Leah?
Maybe.
I'll talk.
All right, so nice.
Oh. Thank you, Geralt.
I hope this potion helps.
That was terrible. I dreamt Lambert was with me. He was staring at me, saying things like, "Don't go dying on me, Marigold," calling me big-headed. I'm so glad to see you. What?
I'm glad you're feeling better.
I know we should set out, but I have a feeling we won't be back. Perhaps ever. Won't you stay just a bit longer? With me?
I suppose we have some time.
I'm so happy you're back. When I saw you, all the feelings I tried to deny returned, stronger than ever.
Triss, I'm not ready to talk about the past.
Of course. I shouldn't pressure you. I just feel so... the powers. I'm behaving like a teenager. Let's focus on the present. I guess I disappointed you all. Forgive me.
Nothing to forgive. What I felt when I learned you were alive.
Oh,
Except maybe what I feel as I look at you.
I missed you so. Let's see if the best bed in Kaer Morhen can hold us.
Oh, well. Damn! I was not expecting a Triss Marigold booty call. Oh, that's tasteful. That's tasteful.
Geralt, a pleasure, as always.
As always?
You don't remember anything?
Unfortunately.
Well, you have something to look forward to then. No matter. Tell me, how did the battle end?
They broke into the lab, killed Leo, stole our mutagens, and escaped.
Poor Vesemir. Another protege dead prematurely.
We delayed the funeral until you awoke.
Thank you. As for the mutagens, their loss could prove catastrophic. Let's not lose any more time. Unless there's something you'd like to ask me?
Know anything more about the...
He's very powerful. He completely controlled the energy he drew from the circle. We may soon be facing another Vilgefortz.
Who?
No matter.
Okay. All right, I think I'm going to save the game. And I think I'm going to go ahead and call it a day. I'm going to... All right, folks, I think normally I'd be going for another hour or about 50 minutes or so, but I think I'm going to go ahead. Headache's starting to come back a little bit, so I'm going to call it a day, cut it off a little early. Thank you for joining. It was a pleasure to have you all here. So we will try this again next week. I'll get the schedule updated on the Twitch channel later this week, and hopefully I'll have all the technical issues sorted out, and we'll actually be able to go back and lay down our scaffold tracks. So, pardon me. Y'all take care. Have a good rest of your weekend, and I will see you next week. Actually, before I go, what would you think if I started doing some evening streams during the week to work on game progress and progressing the game forward? Something I thought about. So think about that, and I will talk to you next week. Thanks a lot. Have a good one.